yeah.
With the hammer strap, I ain't lying. I can do whatever if I'm planning that. Oh, you got your guns, let's dance like fanny pack.
What's the
Did y'all get that bar?
Yeah,
The fanny pack bar?
I was thinking about the bar. The favorite of mine on that is the a big-headed motherfucker couldn't even imagine.
Dude, there's so many, like, he's incredible, dude. But like what makes his shit so dope is like, okay, when I write my rhymes, I always like I've always structured them, right? 4 bars, make sure that I hit something hard on the 4th, the 8th, the 12th, the 16th. I make sure that the 8th and the 16th are like big hitters, right? He does that for the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th. Like he just like all of them are bars.
Yeah.
The simple little one, like "Let's dance like fanny pack." That's just like a little tag. That's just a little shimmy in your ass, real quick. It's like that's such a bar. Like a lot of people don't know who Fanny Pack is. If you don't know, are we recording? Are we live? Are we rolling?
Yeah, we rolling.
If you don't know who Fanny Pack is, there was a point in time where there was America's Best Dance Crew, right? And they were a dance crew, and their name was Fanny Pack.
Yeah.
It was a show where everybody went on. The Jabberwockies were on the same fucking season with them. If you go back and watch, they were on the same season, but. Yeah,
I do a lot of that shit.
Such a bar.
I mean, well, for one, like this is a mixtape, so he ain't like the way you never wrote a mixtape, so like
he's literally just spitball.
just spazzing,
just spazzing.
But I did get a lot of my shit from him, where it's like I don't really care about the 4s and the 8s, and I'm just gonna
put them in there.
Yeah, I just put them in there, and sometimes it sucks because like. We will, like I'll have a bar just somewhere, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, damn, bro, you should, like, I could have literally just flipped it to like, you know what I mean? I could have put it to the end of the scheme and it would have been like the punch, you know?
Yeah. Well, it's been weird because like you and I write, like physically write a lot different.
Yeah.
Like you're like paragraph form, right? You just start from the top and that's where you go. And my shit looks like fucking... somebody with ADHD wrote it because it's all over.
Yeah, well, you don't write like a beginning, middle, and end type shit. I mean, you do, but it's more like you're like this is the I've got this four, and then you can find ways to like weave them in together, and you do have like you spend a lot of time how you want to start a verse and how you want to end a verse, but then it's like
in the middle is like
pretty much everything in the middle is interchangeable, kind of.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I try. It's weird because like it used to be just like how you said 4 4 4 4 4 and just okay, all of this will fit in. But then once I started like getting into like, oh, this will transition to like this first 4 will transition to the third 4 better, so I'll switch this. But I originally wanted.
Yeah.
It just puts it together like a big old puzzle.
Right.
But my biggest struggle has always been starting. Like, where am I going to start? So that's why it's weird because like if you'll send me a verse. You'll be like, yo, we're gonna work. I like this. I'm gonna work with this, or a chorus, or a concept plan. It's like that takes all the guesswork out of it. Oh, I see where we're going with this, and I'm gonna just piggyback off that. And that's kind of fucked up.
For me, it's ending because the way I write, sometimes I'll get to the end and it'll be like, damn, bro, you only got like 2 bars left. You know what I'm saying? Like, instead of like where you already know, like. This is you might know what you're ending with, but you have 4 leading into it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Whereas like like you said, I'm writing from the top to the bottom. So sometimes I'll get like the way I kind of like roll into the next 4 or some shit. You know what I'm saying? Where it's like when I'm on the 12th bar, then that 12 rolls into 13 and 14, and then I'm like, shit, now I got to end this verse, and I only got 15, 16, 17, 18.
Yeah, so you're almost rushed.
Yeah. Sometimes rushed. I feel rushed, or I just feel like, damn, like I got to go back and like switch this so that I can like end this shit. You know what I'm saying? And I get into that. One problem I have too, like, well, I don't have a problem with it anymore, but I used to have a problem with like sticking with a scheme for too long. You know what I mean?
That's a curse.
So I've kind of rectified that in a sense where it's like, I try not to just like get into I know there's like a lot of really dope rappers. I feel like maybe M's one of these rappers.
M's
that's
one
like,
of those guys that influenced me to do that.
Yeah, and he's one of those rappers that's like Shuso, Huto,
Yeah.
you know,
His
Fool's
just-
Gold,
his-
like all these, like he just figures out every multi for that fucking scheme, and then picks out like the best ones to make it. You know what I'm saying? To make it
a
make
prime
it pop.
example of that is the verse that everybody's going crazy about right now. That's M's. Is that verse with JID with Jid? Where he goes into that rant of consonants with a compliment with a compliment with a compliment.
He kills that
He's like,
shit,
dude,
yeah.
like he used every version of that, whatever that ontonnance.
Yeah.
Nobody could use that, and you and I are the same way. If we've used it before or somebody else has used it before, it's out of play. It's
if
just no
I
longer used.
heard it and remember it, then I'm not going to use it.
It's
you know what
but
I'm saying?
something basic is right. If somebody rhymes me, B, C, D, whatever the fuck, we can use that. But
Yeah.
if somebody uses compliment and consonants and continents and consonants, it's okay, all of those have been used, so fuck.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah,
completely
yeah.
killed that flow. You can't use those anymore.
Yeah, but I will like for instance, like he used that after me, but not that he knows
Yeah,
what the
he
fuck
can
you know what I
fuck
mean.
not anybody else either.
But I did. I had a scheme where I was like something about like our intellects on separate continents and I can't think of the scheme, but it did have like consonants, continents, and common sense and this shit. You know what I'm saying? Like I had a scheme like that. I will, if I hear a popular rapper use something similar, and like I'll never. Let me see how I want to say this, because if I hear it, then I won't write it. You know what I'm saying? But most of the time, like I might use something that somebody's used, but I'm using it in a totally different way.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
get what I'm saying?
Oh yeah,
It's like
yeah.
it's like if I'm saying like our intellects or are on separate continents, but he was saying like I made you split like Pangea in the continents. You know what I'm saying? Like it's different.
Yeah,
like,
did I really use his shit?
Yeah, I didn't really like. I mean, we used the same words, but
Yeah.
I did. You know what I'm saying? And
Don
like,
did it to me one time, and I got a little shitty about it. And I was like, a little too close to home. You got a little too close to home, dude.
the plumber's ass.
Yeah,
one?
that exact rhyme, dude.
Yeah.
And he kind of paid homage. I guess I would look at it as paying homage whenever he who keep it knocking like a dry full of boots. He used it in a chorus,
yeah.
and that was something that I had in a verse, and I was like, I kind of see that.
Yeah, that was a homage for sure. He definitely.
Well, he said, I show my ass. He said, I show my ass like a plumber. I was like, come on, bro.
Yeah,
That was my shit. I ain't gonna trip. I mean, it was good. It was a dope ass line. Mm-hmm. But yeah, what the fuck?
But
dude.
you had one like that.
I forget what mine was. But it was something about pretty much same concept. I didn't rhyme plumber. I think I did plumber's ass or some shit.
Yeah. But definitely borrowed the scheme or borrowed the premise.
Speaking of like famous rappers and shit like that, so I had this thought the other day, and it was that, you know what's weird? Hopefully I can put this into words correctly. Is when people come to you and they're our age, they're like a peer of ours, and they'll be like, well, you know this about Eminem, or you know this about Jelly Roll, or you know this about this person, and they're like, it's like new knowledge to them, and you've known it for 20 years.
Yeah.
And they're all like trying to school you to it. It's kind of it puts me in a weird position because I don't want to sound condescending when like, fuck, I know that shit. You just now catching up. Like you just realized that Eminem doesn't like his mom.
Right.
That's common knowledge, dude.
You know what I hate is when and this is just people on the internet, but in the comments, like they'll get on Jelly Roll's post and be like, I love you, Jason. Like you're touching everybody, man. It's just, you changed my life, Jason. And I'm like, don't call this motherfucker Jason.
Yeah,
his name's Jelly Roll. Like, or they get on Eminem shit, be like,
Marshall.
You're such a fucking, you're the best, Marshall. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, no, get the fuck out of here with that shit. Like, I don't know why people want to feel a connection to people so bad. Like, I mean, it happens in day-to-day life, you know? Like you said, like when motherfuckers call you Sal, that like
that's what I was gonna say. It's like it's that same
motherfucker
comparison.
is like Sal. Like I get a kick out of it when we go around people that like might have known you in middle school or some shit, and like they hear me calling you Aunt or whatever, and then they trying to call you Sal, like trying to like
one up
son me or some shit.
I know him better.
Yeah,
Sal.
just like, bro, there ain't
No,
nobody that's close to him that like. I mean, there's like a select few people that call you Sal, but I think it's like it's just like a thing that
Terrell calls me Sal.
Right, but
but me and Terrell tight. But that's how he met me in that. But
you had that shit on your fucking uniform or something. You know what I'm saying? Like that's different. You know, like it's just you get what I'm trying to say.
Oh yeah,
it's just like
it's
what
just
the
weird
fuck,
how
dude?
people
Like,
try to make that connection. It's like, dude, you don't come on, bro.
Yeah,
Especially with somebody famous. Like, dude, just appreciate what they do. Just show appreciation. I mean, I know. I wonder. Sometimes I wonder what I would do meeting a very famous. I met Ritz, right? I met him when he was downtown when he performed the music for him, and I got a little starstruck. I just shook his hand. How's it going? Nice to meet you. All that shit. But like, had we been just chilling, if I just walked into a fucking room, a studio or some shit, and he was just chilling there, I wouldn't fucking, oh my God. Hi, I think his real name is Jonathan. Hi, Jonathan. You know, I wouldn't fucking hide all that shit. I was like, just appreciate people for who they have presented themselves to be to you.
Yeah.
Right? He's Ritz. You meet him. What's up, Ritz?
Well, it's like for instance, 40. Like 40's a very humble and dude that's like, I mean, this motherfucker has been with some motherfuckers, you know, like
that's wild. It's really fucking.
You know
wild,
what I mean?
dude.
He's been around
Shit is crazy.
like Grammy winners. He's been around Tupac. Fucking the dude that, I mean, he went to Nelly's house. Nelly's like he could literally just hang his nuts out and act cool all the time, but he's like, shit don't mean nothing, bro. They're just everybody's people, but. I'll be around certain people that like, cause I call him 40, like 40. What's up? You know what I'm saying? Not that I don't know. I know him, his kids, his wife. Like he makes all my fucking music beats, videos. Like that's my people. You know, he texts me on Father's Day. Like that's my people. But you'll get around some people and they want to call him Rob. You know what I'm saying? Like that's his real name. Like, oh yeah, me and Rob went to. I'm just like. Just because you know his real name doesn't mean you're like cool, you know what I'm saying? It's just like that just doesn't make you like more in with him, you know what I mean? Like I get around people, I'm just like, oh, like you know, me and 40 way closer than you, just because you fucking know his real name. Like you think I don't know his real name because I call him 40? That's
well, it's weird because like I listen to a lot of podcasts and I keep hearing Kid Rock come up in a lot of the podcasts.
Yeah, motherfuckers be like Bob.
And they call him Bob. I didn't even know his name was Bob, but they're like, oh, I call him Bob. I was like.
Yeah.
Trump calls him Bob.
That's like,
you know what I'm saying? Like Donald Trump calls
the
him
Yellow
Bob.
Wolf fucking thing.
What's What's your name? His real name is Michael.
Yeah, I'm talking about when Yellow Wolf was on Drink Champs though. Like
right, great episode.
Everybody, but he's one of them people. I'll say this: he can call people like he calls Eminem Marshall. He called Kid Rock Bob. He calls everybody by their name. But I'm like, motherfucker knows them like that. You know what I'm saying?
Word.
If you know somebody like that, then call him that. You know what I'm saying?
I've actually heard that Eminem does not like being called Marshall by people who don't know him.
Yeah.
Like he's got a problem with that. Like M.
Yeah.
You can just call me M, Slim, whatever. But Marshall is like reserved for my people. Nobody calls me Salvatore except my wife when she's mad.
Yeah.
Like she called me Salvatore like in like a kidding, joking manner, but like nobody in the world calls me Salvatore. That's my first name, right? A lot of people call me Sal. People call me Aunt. Hey, if you call me Aunt, just so you know, I don't like that shit.
Yeah.
Just so you know, it's not like it doesn't cringe me or nothing, but Anthony works.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I usually like in passing conversation, I'll just say like, yo, Aunt, what's up? But when I'm talking about you, I usually say Anthony. You know what I'm saying?
I make a point not to call you Michael, and I call Jeff Jeffrey. That's your government.
Yeah, I noticed that.
I call him. You in my phone is Jeffrey.
Yeah, I say Jeffrey a lot too, but I don't know, man. It's just like I feel like if you're just being real, then it's cool. But if you're just trying to like
Yeah, it's just this weird thing that people do.
Yeah, it is weird. People just want to be closer to you for whatever reason. You know what I'm saying? I've known you don't like being called Aunt my whole life, but I just still fucking say Aunt.
It's not one of those things that bother me. It's just one of those things like, meh.
Well, you know why? Because a lot of motherfuckers call me Mike, and I don't like that shit. But so I'm like, fuck you, man. You Aunt. Fuck you, dog. You Aunt.
But I don't call you Mike. I call you Michael.
No, you don't. Yeah.
For Mike Dub.
Just a little shorter.
A little shorter.
Yeah.
Lazy ass.
It do be
couple
short.
more syllables, dude.
I mean, everybody calls me Mike. A lot of people just, I don't know. I guess however you introduce yourself is, I guess, how you want.
You know what really bugs me though? I'll be honest with you, Tony. Don't call me fucking Tony.
I've never heard anybody call you Tony.
Every now and again, because Tony's short for Anthony, right? It's like a wide known thing. But sometimes somebody will call me Tony. I'm like, where the fuck? I'm not no fucking Tony. When I was in the alternative school, that's what they called me.
Yeah.
One teacher started calling me Tony, and all the other teachers, because there's only like 5 teachers in the alternative school, and they all just started calling me Tony. It's like, where the fuck did this come? Like, I don't. Anthony, it works. It's. I'll turn my head every time. Tony, I'll be fucking me. You.
Dude, I was in fucking we've been doing this old folks home, putting countertops and shit in there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Did I talk about this at all on the podcast?
No idea what you're
Oh
talking about.
my god, dude. So
Old people are trip, dude.
old people,
Especially old senile people.
Yeah, this shit. It reminded me when I sent you that shit earlier. Them 2 old dudes dancing and shit.
Dude, I was fucking creased up. Keep going. That shit fucking had me, bro.
But this fucking old folks home, man, like, so first we've been doing it kind of in phases because we're like remodeling the whole shit. So, or we're just obviously just doing the countertops. Like we did their reception desk, and that was the first phase. Like we went and did their reception desk, and this old dude came up, and I could tell like he wanted to talk or whatever. A bunch of them came up talking like, "What are you doing?" You know, old people just
they love that shit.
Yeah, they they're
do.
bored as fuck. You know?
Ain't nothing else to do, bro.
But this motherfucker was on some, you know, I could tell he had dementia, you know what I'm saying? Like, he walked up, motherfucker had, like, a folded up paper in his pocket, like a brochure, you know what I'm saying? Like, and he was telling me, like, this is where my car is, you know, my son took my car from me, and he was like, and I told him not to park it here, it's gonna get, the mulberry bushes, the mulberry trees are gonna fuck up the paint, you know? I just
Black dude, white dude?
White dude.
Okay.
And
that matters.
yeah, and he was like, and dude was like, what'd he say? He was like, he was going 95 miles an hour, and he was like, and the cops pulled me over and was like, what are you doing? He was like, well, why all these motherfuckers can't drive, you know? Like, why won't they get out my way and shit? And so, like, he's explaining it to me, but he couldn't really keep his train of thought because he started with, like, I need to go to Walmart and I need to get, like, a record player and this shit. And then he went on to his, like, he was just bouncing around. But I felt so bad for his son because he was like, I fucking hate my son. Like, he fucking took my car from me and shit. And, like, I know what, like, by the story he's telling me, I understand why they took the car from the motherfucker, you know, and put him in here. You know what I'm saying? And he showed me he showed me his fucking, he gave me his wallet and shit. I looked at his driver's license. He was like, see, like, I got my license and all. I was like, bro, you better get your car. This shit expires next month. You know what I'm saying? So, like, he ain't had his car for 2 years. And then he starts talking about the wife, and he was like, I know that's the son's wife, you know? He's like, I know it's that fucking cunt. I don't even talk to her. I know she's behind this, you know, like he's got this whole conspiracy going and shit. I was just like, man, that sucks, man. But I feel for the dude's son because I know the son's just like, well, Dad, you can't have your car.
That affects.
Like,
I don't know if you've ever like had that close in your family, but that's a weird feeling, dude.
Oh man, you could tell like. What's weird is like when he was saying like he hated his son and he tried to fight him, he was like smiling and shit because he just doesn't understand like like you said, it's weird. His emotions aren't like clicking with what he's saying, and he doesn't understand why
it's weird because
feels like his son's against him.
Christina was in that business, right?
Yeah.
And she was in the home healthcare business, and she learned a lot. And she used to school me on the shit because that shit runs rampant in my family. Like my grandparents, the family that I have down here, I know I carry the super Italian name, but all the family that I have here are all Puerto Ricans, right? So my grandma's side, and my grandmother's both of her parents had dementia. My grandmother had dementia. Her sister has dementia. Her other sister has dementia. I just went to I went to one of my great uncle's funerals the other day, right? And it was her brother, and two of her siblings were there, like two of her like last living siblings, and they're looking at me and they're like, "Who are you?" I'm like, I've known you my whole fucking life. Like, what is it? What the fuck is? And it's a weird thing because my grandma went through the same shit, but I was really close with my grandma. And the weird feeling is like you'll sit down with somebody you've known. I'm 38 years old. My grandma died when I was like 35, 36, some shit like that. And I've sat down with her in my 30s, and she'll look at me and she'll go, "I know I'm related to you. I know you're one of my grandchildren, but who are you?" And it fucks with you emotionally. She's like, "Man, you're my fucking grandma." Like, you know, like we got all this history and shit. But then you have to like separate yourself from that because Christina taught me that they go back to when they were younger, like mad young. Like she was like in her late 70s. I think she died when she was like 81 or some shit. So she went back when she was like 30 when I wasn't around. She's like, I know you who you are, but just tell me who you are. And you're like, "Grandma, I'm your son's this guy's. I'm Anthony." And she's like,
well, it's odd because it's like you're born and you don't know shit.
Right.
And you're like a baby.
Right.
And like you have to like figure out who's cool, who's not. You know, you forget who your brain ain't developed. You know, like you might see somebody and you're like, oh, that's, you know, but then for instance, like Haven, like when she's like 1 or 2, she's been around. I'm not gonna say anybody's name, but somebody that's close to me, but doesn't come around a lot.
Right.
And then 2 years go by, and she sees that person, and she's like, "Well, I know that person."
No.
And that's kind of how, like, once you get older, it's like you digress into that same mentality.
That's
like,
almost exactly what it is.
You're going back into a baby form where you're like,
exactly. Well,
I know you, but I haven't seen you, so I don't.
If they live long enough, apparently, like they go back all the way to that. But it goes even further than that. Like they forget they start out by just forgetting like who they are, where they're going, like little simple shit. And, you know, everybody's kind of like seeing somebody that's like old and senile and whatever. But it goes further back to like they forget how to eat, they forget how to walk, and then their brain starts forgetting like, oh, you're not supposed to stick your hand over a burning flame.
Right.
Like they forget everything. It's
literally
takes
like the circle of life.
It
like
takes your brain to not knowing anything.
That's crazy.
And
well, you remember Bartley when we worked with him and his dad. You know what I mean?
Like, sad, man.
Motherfucker just like drove to his childhood home that he ain't lived in 50 years, and like then they had to take his car from him. But do you remember when he locked Brian out the house that one day?
No. The only memory I have of him was when we pulled up to Hardee's and he was just there. I don't know how he got there or what happened. You said, "Hello, hi, Mr. Bartley, how are you?" And he looked at you like, it's weird because like it's not going to click, right? It's not going to go, "Oh, you're that person." No, it's just, you're gone. Like, you're just, that memory's just not there. He just looks at you and you're like, he's like, "Oh, who are you?"
Yeah.
And you're like, I'm Michael.
Well, it's like you said.
And he's like, "Oh, get to work."
Yeah, that's what he said. Well, get to work.
Get to fucking
I work with your
dude.
son. Well, get to fucking
Fucking
work.
get to work. Don't bother me. I'm eating food.
Yeah. Nah, but one day we were remodeling his bathroom, and I was doing some shit, and his dad was there because it's his house, but Brian went outside because he was like, I told him I needed some shit, you know, and so Brian went outside and they had a glass door, and when he went out, his dad went to the glass door and locked it, and so Brian comes back and he's like trying to open the door, and his dad's standing there. And he's trying to open the door. He starts hitting it. His dad's like, and Brian's like, "Let me in, Dad." And he's like, like a kid, you know what I'm saying? Like laughing at him and shit. He's like, "Let me in, Dad." I walk around the corner and his dad's like, I was like, I ain't getting involved in that shit, bro. You know, because like the dude I was telling you about, he was talking about fighting his son over the car. Like he tried to fight him. I think like that's kind of what got him in there. You know, I think his son might have been trying to house him and shit. And like he was trying to like let him drive around, just like take care of him.
Yeah.
But then had that episode where he tried to drive, fucking speeding, got pulled over, cops brought him back home. And then when he got home, that's how he got the wife in his mind, because the wife and the son were like, look, trying to explain to him like, you can't drive anymore. We got to take your keys. And he tried to fight his son.
Yeah.
And he was like, I was going to kill him. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to kill him. You know what I mean? And it was just
Dad
like,
was going to kill his son.
Yeah, that's what he told me. I'm just like, hey, this all happening while I'm trying to work.
That goes back to what I was talking about. Like, they're not going to snap. It's not going to click to them. Like, you see somebody who, okay, we're in our 30s, right? If we walk up to somebody, Jeff, I ain't seen Jeff in a long time, and I go, Jeff, it's fucking me. He'd be like, oh, shit, my bad, bro. You grew your beard. You did something weird with your hair. Something. Oh, it's you. And it'll snap. With them, it won't.
No.
They might socially just be in somewhere deep in their brain go, oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You've done that. We've all done that. You meet somebody, they're like, hey, you remember me from school? And you're like, yeah. I don't know what the fuck this is.
I've been trying to be better about that when I don't know somebody. I like, for instance, I could apologize to Derek. I just went to his birthday party last Sunday, and their oldest, Gavin, he was there. And, like, when I walked in, I said, what's up to Derek? And then, like, he was standing next to Derek and was like, went to shake my hand. And I was like, Michael. And he was like, and as I was saying Michael, he was like, good to see you again. And I was like, fuck. You know what I mean? And
he didn't know who you were?
No, I didn't know who he was.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? Like, he knew me. He was like, what's up, Michael?
You kind of stand out.
I said Michael. You know what I mean? I was like, hey, I'm Michael. As he was saying, like, good to see you again. You know what I'm saying? And I was
so you felt like a dick? Like,
I felt like a dick because, like, I'm introducing myself.
Yeah.
And he's like, motherfucker, I know who you are.
Yeah.
You don't have to introduce yourself.
Yeah.
And, like, I did what you said. I was like, oh, well, you grew the beard out. You done got a little older. I don't think I've seen him since I helped him move, which was probably like a year or two ago. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And he's only like 21, 22. So, hey, my bad, Gavin. I have met you, but should be like that sometimes.
I've been around people. I wish I could remember who they was. Maybe I got dementia. But I've been around people. They're like, oh, hey, how you doing? Like, we've met like 5 times, dude. Like,
yeah,
you and I don't know each other like that, but you know who I am. Come on, bro. What the fuck, dude?
It happens, and like you said, I think for me, how I look, and I'm just like
you stand out.
Yeah,
you're just one of those guys.
I'm fucking big, tall. I look different. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like if you seen me in a store this week and we've never met and we never talked, and you see me fucking a year from now,
like, that's the guy from Food
like
Line.
That's that dude I saw a fucking year ago. You know what I'm saying? Like most people just blend the fuck in.
Let's think about it like this. I know we kind of got off on this rant about old people and this and that, and I really don't like making this show about being political, but like we had one of those people running our country.
Yeah.
That's fucking, like, when you really put that in perspective, like, this motherfucker did not know where he was, who he was, who they were. Like, this motherfucker, it was crazy.
You're right. It's not even just one of those people. Like, yeah, one of those people that obviously has, like, mental decline.
Yeah.
But all of them motherfuckers, you know, like.
Yeah.
Just get around anybody that's 70 plus.
Imagine
which is what
guy.
runs our whole fucking country. All these motherfuckers are like an average age of 65 or better. Congress, Senate, all that shit all fucking old.
Yeah.
And if you get around old people, even older people that are sharp, they don't know what the fuck is going on with you and us and this.
Well, imagine that guy at the old folks home that you seen running a car lot.
Yeah.
Right? He's like, my car, my son, my cunt, fucking daughter-in-law, whatever. Like, imagine him being the boss of a car lot. Just something simple as that. He's selling cars.
Yeah. This motherfucker run the whole country.
That business would go to shit.
Yeah.
And now you got this motherfucker running a country? Dude.
Well,
that,
you saw,
me
and you talked, and, you know, Theo Vaughn had Trump on.
It was a good episode. Did you watch it?
It was a good episode, but at the same time, I was like, and usually I'm like, I mean, Trump's way sharper than Biden.
For sure.
But
you can tell something's weird. Because Theo was fucking hitting him with jokes, dude. No reaction. Like,
yeah,
dude,
that's what I'm saying. Is like
funny.
The disconnect between age groups. You know what I'm saying? When Theo was like, "Shit, homie, no,"
yeah.
you know,
shit, turn you into an owl.
Yeah, and all that shit. And Trump was like, I like that Trump was allowing him to speak and listening and all, but I felt like he wasn't grasping. Like they weren't. Theo's way younger than him, and it's just like, that's what I'm saying. Like, he's just too old to really understand how the world is. You know what I mean?
When are we going to have a 50-year-old president again? How old was Obama when he came in?
How did that shit even happen?
Dana White?
Yeah, Dana White.
They said it a couple times.
Yeah.
You know what I was hoping, dude?
But Theo just had Bernie on a couple weeks ago. He had Bernie Sanders.
Listen to that one too.
Then he had Trump. So I feel like Theo's just like in a crossroads in his life where he feels like he just wants, he has a huge platform and he's like, yo, let's have both sides. Like anybody who wants to, like he's trying to.
Great move, dude.
He just wants people to come on and explain like to his listeners, to him. I feel like he's like us. He's only a little bit older than us. He's what, 44, I think.
Sounds about right.
I think he's like 44. Like he's around our age. He's just like the same thing we feel like.
No, he's not around my age.
Well,
motherfucker, you're down. 40, bro.
You older than I am, ain't you?
37, G.
You're 38.
Man, lying.
You don't even know how
bad
old. That motherfucker
Go back to the old folks.
This dude got early onset dementia, dog.
That's not close to 44.
I mean, that's pretty close. Yeah, as far as like, it's closer than 76 that Trump. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I think Trump's older than that.
Theo's like 6 years older than you, so he's like, you know,
he's a
like,
peer.
He's
a peer of yours.
He came up in the same kind of times.
You think Trump's gonna make his way to Rogan?
No, Rogan's already said that he's not. Like he's had Gabbard on after Bernie. He I don't think he's gonna have anybody like that on
Too
again.
much political.
Well, he's really tight with Tulsi Gabbard. They're friends
for sure. But I don't think he will ever have any. He might prove me wrong, but I don't think he'll ever have anybody on that's like actively running for office because he doesn't want to be involved in like.
He's had a couple of them on. He had Andrew Yang on. You remember that? You know who that was? The Asian dude.
Yeah.
He was running for president. He had I think around that time he had Andrew Yang. He had Bernie Sanders, Tulsi Gabbard. He's had Tulsi Gabbard on there a couple times.
Yeah.
And Tulsi Gabbard.
I don't think he'll touch Trump because it's just like it's. I
don't think Trump would touch Rogan. I'll be honest with you. I don't think he would because Rogan has said, and God damn, I hope this doesn't go viral, but Rogan has said he doesn't like either option. He's had RFK on there. RFK is running. Yeah. So Rogan has said he doesn't like either option. He doesn't like the idea of voting for Kamala.
But Rogan's trying to. I don't believe that though. You know, I feel like Rogan stands to lose a lot if he picks a side, and so like he's not going to pick a side. I feel like he's just being a. I don't want to call him a pussy, but he's being a pussy about it. You know, like he's like, I'm a vote for the third party knowing it ain't going. Like that's easy. Yeah. Me and you could sit here and be like, I'm voting for RFK. He's not fucking winning. No. So we won't lose anything by saying that because we're not picking a side. Yeah. And Rogan wants to be that. And I'm not. I hate to say he's pussy because I don't even vote. So like
pussy.
Yeah, I'm a pussy, and I won't pick a side.
No, I'm sorry.
So no, you're right. I understand somebody in Joe's position to be like, bro, I can't.
It makes sense. That makes
you know
what
I mean?
Like, I didn't even think about it like that. That makes good sense.
Yeah, and I don't think he really thinks about it in the sense of like, oh, I could lose all this shit because he's too established, bro.
Do you think, or do you know anybody who thinks that Kamala Harris could possibly make it as a president, win the presidency?
I do. I actually do. I don't know about win, but I think that I know a lot of people that want her to win and would vote, are voting for her, but it's.
Do you think
nobody is voting for her because they think that it's like the best thing for the country?
You think it's specifically?
It's specifically because they don't want Trump to be the fucking president.
Well, I agree with you. I know people like that too. But what's weird is whenever it was Hillary versus Trump, first time I ever voted in my life, I voted for Trump just because I genuinely did not trust Hillary Clinton.
Yeah, but a lot of people vote even don't. That's what I'm saying. I think it's like kind of the same thing again, where they don't trust Hillary. They didn't trust Hillary, but they still voted for it. Like, it's gotten so bad where motherfuckers are just like, yo, I don't like.
Well,
it's like it doesn't matter.
This one, that's a great point. That's a great point because in reality, what matters to us personally here is our governors.
Yeah.
Right? Our state governors, senators, whatever, that matters more to us because they're more close to us than they are the president. Actually, Joe Rogan had it in a bit one time, a comedy bit, like, dude, y'all still do that? Like his bit was like the Thomas Jefferson era, Thomas Jefferson, fucking Alexander Hamilton, like that whole era of people when they needed a president. If they were alive today, they'd look at us and be like, yo, y'all still have a president? Like, we thought that only mattered then because we had, we needed it like that. But shouldn't fucking matter no more. It's pretty much Congress, which is pretty much a council now.
Yeah.
But God damn, I forgot my point.
Well, Brian, did you listen to the episode of Flagrant with Brian Simpson on it?
No.
Recent?
No.
That shit was pretty good. You should listen to it. I mean, I like Brian Simpson a lot.
I like Andrew. I like the way that Andrew Schultz is maturing in his older age.
Yeah, for sure.
I like the way his comedy's maturing too.
It's dope. But Brian Simpson put it because they were asking him like, Schultz just talks a lot of shit, but they were asking him like Kamala or this, or he was like, I don't fucking pay attention to that shit. He was just like, it doesn't fucking matter. Like, think about it, dude. Like,
Truth is.
Like, he didn't say this, but like the way I look at it is just like, bro, how long they been arguing about fucking abortion? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Since fucking the beginning of time, and we're still talking about it. It's like we ain't figured this shit out yet. You know what I'm saying? It's like they're never gonna figure it out. How long they been talking about the border? As long as you like, since fucking who was the first president when we were alive? Fucking George Senior.
Senior probably. 85.
Maybe Reagan.
I was born in 85, so Reagan.
Okay, Reagan was gone.
But I mean that didn't matter. I was fucking 1.
Right. But point being, every president since I've been alive, it's been the same shit. The fucking border, the gas prices, economy, fucking abortion. Like, it's the same fucking argument for fucking 40 years. You know what I'm saying? 37 years they've been talking about the shit and nothing's changed. Like, it's just like we get 4 years or 8 years of this, and then we get 4 or 8 years of that. Like, at the end of the day, I don't give a fuck, dude. I'm gonna wake up. I'm gonna do my we're gonna do our podcast. We're gonna hang out on the weekends.
Yeah.
Either it's gonna cost me fucking $80 to fill up my truck, or it's gonna cost me $40 to fill up my truck. It's either gonna cost me fucking $4 for milk or $2 for milk. Either way, I'm gonna make it. I'm gonna be okay. You know what I'm saying? And everybody else is like still gonna make it. Like, you know what I mean?
Dude, you know, I forget who said it, and I've heard it. I think it was on a couple of podcasts, but they were basically like, "Yo, whatever happened to like politics being boring?"
Yeah, nobody gave a fuck. But
like,
what it was social media.
Yeah,
it's like
I
everybody's
truly
like
believe social media
everybody's
is
like
the downfall
getting
of our society.
energized and galvanized. But what I hate. This is what Brian Simpson said. Like, motherfuckers that make it their whole identity.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Like, I can never see myself being like, I'm a fucking Republican.
Yeah.
I'm a Democrat.
Yeah. I'm a free
I
thinker.
ride with these motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying?
I'm a free thinker, dude.
Yeah, me too, bro. I'm like, if like, I can look at anything objectively and be like, that's what he's saying is bullshit, and I don't want no part of it. And what they're saying, you know what I mean? Like,
dude, it's become a sport. I've noticed that because I've only voted twice, and both times have been for Trump. I know that fucking goddamn would probably burn me at the stake. But I've only voted for Trump twice, right? So when did he first run? 2016.
Yeah.
So
2016 and then 2020.
2020. So I voted for him both times. But when I started keeping up with it, I didn't feel like I was getting old or I was getting into that era of my life. I just felt like, dude, this has become like a sport. And I'm not like a full-blown Republican or a Democrat or anything like that. I'm just a fucking free thinker, dude. But I'll tell you this. If you ever do go to vote. Jeff, do you vote? No?
He's a felon.
If you ever do go to vote, whenever you get the little ticket, at least this is what, because I've only done it twice, they can say, you can check the box for Republican.
Yeah.
And that can just go right down the line. Or you can vote individually for who, this and this and this and that. Right? So when it comes to my president, I voted for Donald Trump. But when it came to like local shit, because every time you vote, it's not just one or the other, bipartisan or whatever. You have to go down your local people, your government, your governor, your senator, whatever the fuck. And I had to learn, like, I don't want to be stupid going into this fucking booth. So I do a little bit of research to find out which values line up with what I'm for.
Yeah.
And I'm a very simple person. I'll be honest with you. I'm not. I don't want. I hate the fact that we even fucking turned this into.
I don't know why you brought this shit up.
Because we were talking about old people and Joe Biden's a fucking old person.
Yeah, that's it. But nah, I mean, I like my granddad, which is an old fucker. He told me from a long time ago. He was like, everybody coming up young is going to be liberal, and gradually you're going to turn more conservative as you get older and you start a family, because you're going to realize like you want, if you have fucking morality and you want to take care of your kids and your family and shit, like, you're gonna need businesses, you're gonna need lower taxes, you're gonna need fucking guns, you're gonna need, like, these are all conservative things, like when you're a fucking family man, you know what I mean? When you're a kid and you're fucking out there smoking weed and partying, hanging out, and you're just like, everybody's cool, let's like include everybody and fucking just, like when, like for instance, when your mom, like you would go to the skating rink and shit, your mom may give you $40 and like your homie had enough money to get in, and you're just like, all right, let's buy everybody food and let's do all this. Like, it's not your fucking money. You know what I'm saying?
That's a
but
liberal mind state.
Yeah, and then and there's nothing wrong with it. That's how I feel. Like I've always felt like we should take care of each other. You know what I'm saying? But when you get to have a family and it's like, yo, I need to put food in my kid's mouth. It's just like, if your homeboy or your brother or your uncle or your cousin hits you up and it's like, yo, I need some money. You're just like, my fucking kids need this shit. You know what I'm saying? I got to pay my mortgage. I got to, you know what I mean? And it's like, it's easy when it's like, you don't have no fucking responsibilities. Right. You don't have no bills. You don't have, it's not your money that you're spending.
But you have the ability to do it. That's when it gets weird. If I have kids, you have kids, same age, we're the same age, and you're feeding your kids because you get up and go to work every day, and I come to you and I go, hey, Michael, I need $100, man. Shit's fucked up. But you know that I haven't been going to work. I'm perfectly capable. I'm just fucking lazy.
Yeah.
And you're going, here's $100, just because, whatever the fuck. You're gonna eventually you're gonna be like, hey, dude, wouldn't you like is something wrong medically? Like you can't go. You're gonna have questions. But but then it's different if I'm going to work and for some reason shit just ain't working out. And
that's where I think like liberalism and progressivism or progressiveness and shit. That's where we start to get issues. Is like, if you actually need help, I would love to help you. You know what I'm saying? But it's hard when you see like people abuse the system and shit.
Right.
And, like J. Cole said in his KOD album, he was like, why can't I fucking pull up an app? It's fucking 2024.
And decide what I want to pay taxes for?
Why can't I do that?
That's a great fucking point, dude.
Yeah.
Like, such a good point.
And I said that way before he put it out on the album, but it's just like, a lot of people who think introspectively and like that are going to have those thoughts. And that's what I've always thought. I was just like, why can't we just like have an app where you pull it up, you're a fucking American citizen. If you pay taxes, then you get into the tax app.
Right.
You know what I mean? You sign in with your fucking Social Security or whatever, and it shows you. It's like you pay, say, $20,000 a year in taxes. Mm-hmm. Okay, well, I'm not putting a dime to abortion.
Right.
If that's your choice.
Right.
I want all $20,000 of my shit to go to schools. Okay, right. That's your choice, and everybody does it, and then that's how we vote. That's voting. Okay, we're not voting for people. We're literally being like, this is where I want my money to go, and then guess what? Once everybody puts their shit in, then it goes, hey man, there's only fucking like $800 for abortions. Like nobody wants to pay for them shit. Okay.
So abortions,
you gotta pay for your own abortions.
Yeah.
And then we don't even have to.
Just an example. Right?
Yeah,
just an example.
It's just an example.
Please don't fucking freak out.
I'm not a fucking politician. And like you said, we should get off of this shit. But I just think it would be, like, oh, I don't want to send money to Ukraine.
So good point.
You know what I mean? Like, let's get off abortion. Like, I don't want to send no money to Ukraine. So like everybody in America puts in what they like you had some people were like, well, send $100 of my shit to Ukraine, but I want to put the other $19,000 in the fucking schools. And then Ukraine's like, oh, did y'all do the vote? Did y'all do the vote? And like, yeah, everybody did their
nobody
tax
gives
shit.
a fuck about you.
It's like, yeah, you got $5,000, Ukraine. Buy a fucking
one fucking AK-4 or one missile.
Yeah, buy one missile.
So
and shoot yourself with it, because
America doesn't give a fuck.
Yeah,
whether
like
you lose or
we're
die.
Voting on gas prices.
We got real issues. So last political thing I'm gonna bring up.
It's fun.
I'm having a
Because
good time.
we're fucking
I'm ha-
idiots,
I'm
and
ha-
we don't know shit about politics.
I'm having a good time. Maybe this is right. Maybe this is wrong. Maybe this is false. Maybe this is true. I heard that there is an age limit where your taxes stop going to schools. So, and if that's true, that's fucking dope because that makes sense. What if you're 60 years old, you no longer pay a school tax? Because there's like a school tax. Everybody, all of us pay some kind of, in some way, a percentage to go towards our education system, right? What if you never had kids? What the fuck I give a fuck? I mean, I know there's a future and all that shit, but if I never had no kids, why am I paying for your kids to go through this education system? Even if it's fucking $3 a month.
Yeah.
Whatever. I shouldn't have to do anything if I'm not putting anything into the school system as far as children goes. Why should I put money into it? But if I have 4 fucking kids that go to the school, gladly.
That's what I'm saying. Like the system I'm talking
Gladly,
about would combat that. Like, but I'm a proponent. I've always been an advocate. I guess this would make me more libertarian, but I just believe in fair tax.
What does that mean?
There is no only tax on what you buy. Like, that's how they get their revenue. You know what I'm saying? Like, do away with income tax, do away with property tax, like all the shit. And it's just like, because for instance, like,
There are states like that now, though, right?
Huh?
There's like Florida doesn't have a property tax. Florida doesn't have a food tax.
Yeah. But this is there would be tax on anything you purchase is fair tax.
Right.
And the reason that I believe in this, and I mean, like I said, I'm not a fucking economist or nothing like that, so I don't know.
Right.
But this is just my opinion. Is all these people bitch about illegal immigrant, they're coming to steal our jobs and shit. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, no, they're not. They're like, motherfucker, you're not gonna go be a roofer. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like
fuck that.
you're a fucking
You ain't-
lazy ass
you ain't
American
picking carrots.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, they're
Harvesting
not
carrots?
taking
Fuck
your
that
fucking
dumb
jobs.
shit.
And if they are, then go out there and fucking work, bro.
Yeah.
Like, both of us have been in construction. Like,
Oh, yeah.
like.
That's
Like,
that's
my
man's
Mexican
work right there.
homies, I was like, bro, them
Love-
motherfuckers there
love
first
fucking
and leave
Mexicans,
last.
dude.
Yeah, those
Fucking
are my
love
guys,
Mexicans,
bro.
dude.
And they fucking work. You know what I'm
And
saying?
they
And
party.
they don't complain. They fucking there to work. But the point is even if you're an illegal immigrant, you don't pay taxes. Fair tax you do.
Right.
If you go to the store, you could pay with cash. If you get paid under the table, it don't fucking matter. You know, if you go buy a microphone, then we tax it. If you buy a fucking banana, we tax it. If you buy a fucking car, we tax it. Like, just up the taxes
Makes
on
perfect
that
sense.
and quit fucking, because then
That makes everybody pay taxes.
Everyone has
Great
to pay
point.
taxes.
Time out. I have to piss.
Yeah, go do it. Go do
So
it.
bad, dude.
Yeah. Good, because when we get back, we're not talking no fucking politics. Because fuck Trump, fuck Biden, fuck Kamala Harris, fuck Bernie Sanders, fuck Nancy Mace. Who else, Jeff? Who's somebody you know? Bill Clinton. Fuck Bill Clinton.
I don't know. Bill's pretty cool.
Yeah,
man.
Bill's pretty
Got
cool,
Sucked
man.
off in the office.
Yeah, let's bring Obama back, dog. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's do it.
Nah, I was sitting here talking to Ross. He's like, we need to have a fantasy football pod.
See, that's what I wanted to
That
do
sounds
tonight.
pretty dope.
That's what I wanted to do tonight.
But like, we can wait till like maybe like week 4 into it and bring like
Yeah, Ross could come through. Let's do it.
Maybe Clint or
Yeah.
like see who's
Not Clint.
well, yeah, fuck that.
He would be too analytical, dude.
But well, that would be dope.
Yeah, I'm down to do that.
That's what we were sitting here texting about right now. It's like we need to have a fantasy football pod.
Let's do it. I'm down with that. It's much better than this bullshit. Talking about fucking old people.
No lie.
Just trying to fuck our lives up. Back. Hey, you remember when Dr. Dre was like, ring ding dong, ring a ding 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 dong.
Nice.
I saw a meme of that shit today. That shit was cracking me the fuck up.
I seen a video the other day, right? So check this interesting fact out. Being that we're talking about, we just finished with the Olympics and shit. Video fun fact was that when they 100 years ago, right? Not necessarily like when they started the Olympics, which was probably in the fucking BC era, whatever. But 100 years ago, when they used to run track, right? They used to run with a specific cleat. They used to run on a specific surface, which was usually dirt, right? And just bare minimum run, just semi-primitive running. From 100 years ago, from 1924 to 2024, human beings have only gotten 0.8 seconds faster.
Really?
And nowadays we run with fucking high technology shoes, and we got specific surfaces and mats with like a little bit of spring action to them and a little bit of training.
Well, that's short distance though, right?
Yeah. I think it was just an average of like overall. I think it measured like a 200-yard or 200-meter dash. Some specific event. Yeah. Right? They're basically like, we've only gotten that much faster with all this technology. Now, if you put that into into comparison with something like, say, golf. If anybody who's played with a very old golf club, like an old wood, an old 5-wood or 3-wood.
Old persimmons.
You got a tiny little fucking head, the tiny little sweet spot. Like, golf technology has fucking skyrocketed. Like, people 100 years ago, I'd like to know what they were driving 100 years ago. Compared to what they know.
200.
You know what I'm saying? Like, they're fucking easily hitting
something.
340 these days.
Oh, yeah. Some of them motherfuckers hitting almost 400 yards, yeah.
So that's like a fucking 100% difference.
Yeah.
A 75% difference.
Yeah.
When you compare 0.8 seconds, I don't know what percentage-wise, but it ain't much fucking faster.
No, but, I mean, human beings can only, there's...
But we talking about all white people. We talking about all white people in 1924 to all the fucking trained Nigerians and Kenyans and all of these like people who are like going through rigorous fucking training to get like, muscles. We're obviously a lot bigger human beings than we were back then. We're obviously a lot more muscular. We have more knowledge, more medical knowledge to know what trains a muscle, what makes muscles bigger, what does this and what, like all the knowledge that we have in 100 years, we've only made 0.8 seconds faster.
Yeah. But we talked about, who was on the pod when we talked about the 4-minute mile? I can't remember. But there was like an Olympics or a race where up until this point, people had never ran a sub 6-minute mile for like, it'd never been recorded in history. And then like somebody ran one, and then was it the 4-minute mile or the 5? I think it was a 5-minute mile. Some shit. Like the scientists said it was fucking humanly impossible, or whatever. Some dude ran one for the first time in history, and then the next year, like 24 fucking people ran it. You know what I mean? It's just like, belief. But to your point, humans can only do what they can do.
Right.
You can, equipment wise. You can, like golf, you can make equipment that makes it go farther, whatever. But as far as running or whatever, or lifting or whatever, like humans can only do so much. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like there's no like, other than like steroids, performance enhancing drugs and shit like that.
Did you ever notice like when we was watching the Olympics, whenever like the swimmers were happening, there was always that like, line that followed them that was the world record?
Yeah.
Like, there was always like chasing out of somebody either break it every year or something. Like every year there was like history was made every year. In 100 years though, like you would think.
Well, running is the hardest one because it's like very minuscule.
Okay, I'm glad you brought that up. So running, this is what I was trying to like. Watching the video, I seen like the different surfaces that they ran on gave them an advantage. The different shoes that they wore gave them an advantage. The different training that they did, the different supplements that they took during their training, like all of these things gave them an advantage. When it comes to swimming, you can't change water. Water's water. Yeah. Right. So you gotta either good or you fucking ain't.
There was a lot of records broke this year.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. But it was 4 years ago too, and it was 4 years before that. Like every 4 years, like people are getting faster in the water. But how much faster in the last 100 years? What you got?
Phelps.
And so Phelps. Whenever Phelps came in, it was like this motherfucker was shattering records. He was shattering them shit. But every year since Phelps, which was, what was that, 2012?
Something like that.
Something like
But
that.
he was drugged.
Was he?
Nah.
You're thinking of Lance Armstrong, dude.
No, they took all Phelps.
No, you're thinking of Lance
Nah, they
Armstrong,
didn't
dude.
strip Phelps.
They didn't strip
Phelps is
Phelps.
still
Phelps
the
was
most
legit.
decorated fucking Olympian of all
He,
time.
you want to know?
But he had genetically.
Yeah, they said something like there was something like naturally.
He's a fucking mutant.
Yeah, he was like
okay.
he was something else. You know,
Yeah.
I think they stripped Lance Armstrong, and you know why they stripped him? Lance Armstrong was the bicycle rider that did like the Tour de France and all that shit, because they were having blood transfusions done. Like the day of the race, they would be in a hotel room having blood transfusions done. That wasn't like necessarily giving them a drug, but it was like it was giving them like something in their blood, like more oxygen in their blood, or
Yeah.
something was happening in this blood transfusion that was giving them an advantage.
Yeah.
And that's why they said that he
But
got fucking
everyone was doing it. It's
It
just
was the whole team.
Yeah, they just fucking made an example of him because he was the biggest name. I think.
They should have an Olympics where everybody's allowed to juice up as much as they should.
I was thinking because we were talking about
Let's see how fast these motherfuckers
they're
can
doing
go.
it. You ain't hear about that?
I've heard rumors.
No, they're doing it. Rogan had the dude on.
Oh,
They're
should
doing
definitely
the
fucking do that,
what's
dude.
it called? The
Or have a home run derby with everybody juiced up.
they're
on
calling it
roids.
the enhanced games. This
Nice.
dude, this like company is doing that shit. They're
Nice.
like, fuck it, you can fucking juice up or
Everybody in the
whatever.
back.
Fucking hitting some meth before they run, dude.
Hey, I was thinking earlier though, we got fucking way off on a tangent with the politics, but when I was talking about old people, the one thing I wanted to get to was like, so, because I sent you that fucking TikTok of the two old dudes
Hilarious.
dancing and shit.
Fucking hilarious.
But I was thinking of like songs, like what's some shit old people do that you could change into a song? Like one thing that popped in my mind earlier when we were talking about it was no, walker out, no walkers out, no walkers. You know what I'm saying? Like
I don't know if y'all know. God, what was his name?
because
He
we
was
were talking about. Jeff, I sent him some shit earlier. Two old dudes dancing. I was like, "Oh, Margaret and Gertrude about to pop them dentures
dude,
out."
that shit
In
had
the
me
old
funny.
folks'
I think the
homes.
caption was funnier than the video, but these two old dudes dancing to NSYNC's "Bye Bye Bye." Shit's fucking hilarious. Do y'all remember? I don't know if I was fucked up saying his whole name, but Chris Summers. He was in high school.
Yeah, I remember that dude.
Okay, Chris Summers was cool as shit.
Yeah.
Right. So when he's a very talented individual.
Yeah.
I kind of compare him to us. Like we are well rounded in like comedy.
I did a show with
music,
him.
this
That
and
motherfucker is like that screamo
Yeah,
shit.
yeah,
and
he's
shit,
on
like
that
rock shit.
So we
yeah.
had a talent show in high school. He and I are peers. We're about the same age. So is Jeffrey. He be trying to fake like he's younger. But we're
to take
we're about the
years off.
same age. Well, we had a talent show, right? And he chose to do stand up comedy. And one of his bits in there was like, it was very funny. He was like, "Yo, when we're old." Like, so like we listen to our grandparents' music now, and they're like, "Oh, I love this song when I was younger. I love this, you know, whatever." And they're like, that was their shit. What are we gonna think that is our shit when we're in our 70s? And he was like, he went on to this whole bit of being like, "Oh, your grandmother used to drop it like it was hot." And all this and that. He's like had
to pop that pussy.
Yeah, that shit was that it was just, it's a funny premise and just a funny whole concept and shit. So it was like, I wonder what we really, if you really think about that, like, what are we gonna be singing to our great grandkids whenever they come to visit us in the old homes and we're fucking demented out, like forgetting who we are and what we are? We could be like,
I don't know. I tell
throw
Haven.
on some Young Jock. It's going down.
Some Drake.
Some Drake.
Yeah.
Hotline bling.
Back to back.
I tell Haven all the time. The first song she ever heard, because after Raven had her, after everything was cooled out and shit, Raven was trying to go to sleep, and she was laying in the bed, and I was holding Haven, and she was awake, crying, like whimpering, crying a little bit. And the first song she's ever heard in her life was 7 o'clock on the dot. I'm in my drop top, cruising the street. I sang that whole shit to her. You know what I mean? I got it real pretty.
Yeah, I'm not gonna
Yeah.
sing on the podcast no more. Eddie said I gotta take singing lessons.
I told you, man. You just gotta stay in your pocket. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Should I go baritone on him? Yes, 7 o'clock.
Hold on, we get copy.
Nah, you gotta find a way to use your like your head voice. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
what you normally speak with.
Yeah.
It's 7 o'clock.
Dude,
on the
it's
dot.
funny we talk about this.
In
I
my
seen
drop
this
top,
one.
cruising the
This vocal
street.
coach was like, "Yo, you can sing. You just be trying to sing like what you hear."
Yeah,
And that's what
you
fucks
can't.
you up.
Yeah.
He's like, this chick was
It
like,
took me a long time to learn that.
she
shit,
was basically
but
like,
I can't sing.
Say
still,
the
bro.
line. It's 7 o'clock on the dot, and then yell it. Yeah, it's 7 o'clock on the dot. Like learn how to like yell it and stop singing it how you think Usher
Yeah.
would say it, and then sing it. Like learn how to
Yeah,
speak
you can't
it.
do Usher, bro.
speak
You're
it,
not Usher.
Speak it, yell it, sing it. And
Yeah.
I was like, that's pretty fucking simple.
Yeah,
dude.
because Usher is gonna be like, it's 7. You can't do that
You
shit.
motherfuckers
It's
lucky
like,
I can't
It's
sing.
7 o'clock on the dot. I'm in my drop. Where you at? I bought you that.
He bought him that. Man, we
Yo,
can't.
I'll never sing that song the
Me
same way.
neither, dude.
I bought
Every
you
time
that.
it comes on, I make sure like
Like,
everybody
this
gotta
bitch,
sing this
this
shit.
bitch,
I
like,
thought it was
flowers,
like
cards, and candy. I bought you that. No.
I wish you two wouldn't throw us off because we could go out on some Usher shit.
It's
right
so
now.
much better
Yeah,
than you're
Usher-
fortunate.
Usher's
I bought
goated,
you
bro.
that.
Usher is fucking goated. His Super Bowl performance was whack.
Man, don't be hating on that man. His Tiny Desk concert was off the chain though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, dude.
That shit was
Fucking
off the fucking
A,
chain,
bro. He killed that shit. One of the best ones for sure.
Watch this. Watch this. Things in my confession. He just has an effortless voice, dude. I still stand by. That's who I wish I could sing like was Usher.
Yeah. On the last pod, that's what I'm saying. Like, Usher is.
It's so dope. He's never in trouble. Like you don't hear about him unless he's doing something awesome.
Well, he got
Yeah.
a little, not even a scandal, but like him and his wife broke up a while back, and that was like
And he made his
big
best album of all
negative
time.
thing.
Yeah.
His big negative thing. Him and his wife broke up. Man, you know how many fucking Ben
That's
Affleck
recent.
and Jennifer.
I was talking about like back when him and Chili were dating and Let It
wasn't-
Burn
that
and
wasn't-
shit.
I mean, that was obvious. That was a big breakup for him.
Yeah.
But Jennifer Lopez and Ben Affleck are divorcing for the second time, like currently.
I seen something where they said she almost got as many rings as Brady.
You know what I'm saying? Like, dude, what the fuck is going on? When you've been divorced that many times, it's you, boo boo. It ain't them. It ain't the men. It's you, yo.
Yeah. I don't know how rich people and famous people even get together and stay together or even be together. You know, it's just like I feel like if you're super famous, you got to find somebody who is like
Not super famous.
yeah, and almost like not even successful. Like they don't have to be like a broke ass bitch or a broke ass motherfucker, but just like somebody that can like ground you a little bit. You know what I mean? And like
They're out there. They're out there. You just don't hear about them.
yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people that have like wives or husbands that aren't super famous
Yeah.
and all this shit,
Sure
and they
they're
keep
out there.
them to the side or whatever. But I'm just saying, like, I feel like that's the move. If you're like uber fucking famous, you gotta find somebody that like is normal in a sense.
Who
You
is
know what I'm
Ariana
saying?
Grande married to right now? Some
don't
weird
know.
looking fucker, dude.
I don't know.
Like nobody famous. Like some oddball
I
looking
don't know.
dude.
But it's like
That's why
the
I was-
Kelseys. What's the older one? Jason Kelsey,
Kelce?
from and his wife. Like she was a fucking Olympian, I think. She's like an athlete. Kylie Kelsey or whatever, his wife.
Whatever you say.
Yeah, yeah.
I believe you.
But she's like, you could tell she's more. They got famous because of Travis and Taylor and
Right.
their podcast blew up and like, so like she's gotten some fame now, but I just feel like it's better to have somebody that can like bring you back to earth and be like, yo,
Yeah.
there's like,
Well, think about it like this: if you had a non-famous spouse and you go to break up, hey, Michael broke up with his spouse. But when you're like two famous people, it turns into a, like the Bennifer. That's what they call it.
yeah,
right?
Bennifer.
The Ben Affleck and Jennifer Lopez thing, like breaking up for the second time, is like it's popping up in my shit like all the time, showing it. I'm like, dude, looking from their point of view, it must fucking suck to have cameras in every aspect of your life.
Yeah.
Like watching, like if Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift were to break up, God forbid, do you like it'll be like on everybody's story and everybody's social media platforms, it'll be all over everywhere, forever. It's like, dude, like they just know why do we as a society, right, as an American society, just fucking dwell on that shit so hard. I just don't understand that shit.
Well, I think that a lot of times we look at people as just heroes, like, as gods. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what there's every religion, every fucking yogi, every inspirational character will tell you is just like, bro, you can't worship people. You know, people are fucking fucked up.
They're just
you know,
fucking
like,
people.
They're just people. Like it's kind of bad for me to be
very recognizable people.
Yeah. And yeah, they're talented, they're fucking cool, they're
Sure,
all that shit.
sure.
But at the end of the day, they're people, man. They fucking shit out their butthole, they wipe their ass, they fucking put their pants on one leg at a time. You know, they're gonna die. Like, they're gonna have breakups, they're gonna fuck up, they're gonna have fucking cruel intentions, they're gonna have, you know, it's just,
they are not our role models.
No, they're not
Eminem
gods.
has tried to say that
They're
so
not
many times.
gods.
We are
That's what I'm
not who
saying.
you are to look up to.
Yeah.
I'm just a regular person that's good at this one thing.
yeah.
Who was Will Smith's old wife?
He's still married.
They're
to her.
still together, Jada.
Jada Pinkett
But,
Smith.
like, say she was married to this guy and went and cheated with the fucking rapper.
No.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't think she was ever married to
No,
anybody.
she was married to Will Smith and cheated with that
like
August Alsina,
yeah,
and
like,
then fucking
I mean-
brought Will Smith in the fucking table.
And interviewed
know
him
what I
about
mean?
it.
Yeah.
Like,
How do you
crazy
feel about
is
me
that?
fucking this
Like,
young kid?
Yeah. Nah, they're fucked
crazy to
up.
me, dude.
That's crazy.
But that's what makes people. That's what makes you jump on stage and slap somebody on fucking national television, dude.
yeah. Oh, for sure.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you're always in the spotlight.
Did you see who was it? Was it Andrew Schultz? Yeah. Andrew and Charlemagne fucking reviewing Will Smith's verse or whatever on that news.
Oh, it was so they boys
It
fucking.
was like, I'm a
cracking
Virgo,
up.
but I identify as a Cancer.
Them boys rolling on the floor on that shit.
I was like, what the fuck, man? Yeah. I had a lot of fucking different shit to go with this fucking episode, but
There's always
we
next
ended
week.
up going fucking political.
Sorry,
so,
man.
Hey,
Sorry, guys.
fuck Trump, fuck Kamala.
Bring in some
Who
young
else?
presidentials.
Fuck Nancy Mace. What's the other? Fuck Nikki Haley.
Damn, bro, for South Carolina.
Yeah. Fuck Tim Scott. Yo, yeah. We need
All that.
No, before we get off, this is what I think. All right, so if Kamala wins, Trump has to be her vice president. If Trump
It
wins,
used to be that way.
Kamala has to be her vice president.
It used to be that way.
Dog, we got to go back.
It used to
Take
be
me
that
back.
way.
I mean, okay,
Kamala Harris is.
I'll take
I'm
it.
gonna go ahead and I hope this. I hope
this
this.
is what
I
I
hope this
think, though.
ages well.
Who-
Kamala Harris ain't finna win.
I don't give a fuck who wins. I'm just saying whoever wins from now on, from this day forward, whoever wins, whoever was running against him has to be the vice president. Y'all figure this shit out. I'm tired of fucking. We got a whole Democratic fucking administration and we're gonna fucking take over the world. No, work together.
Yeah.
Both y'all don't like each other. Both y'all have differing ideas and
Not
opinions.
worried about each other.
and
Worry
fucking-
about the American
yeah,
people, bro.
Work for the fucking people like you were elected to do. So, think harder, work smarter. Don't vote for Kamala. I'll fuck with you. Think harder, work smarter. If you want it to grow, just add water. Shout out my cameraman, Foolish. My co-host, Cousin Sal.
Hey.
It's the Water Pod. Peace.
Yeah.
You can live for tomorrow, 'cause tomorrow you'll be dead. A little dance on the bottle. In my head, you can live for tomorrow, 'cause you'll be dead. A little dance on the bottle. Another melody in my head. A little dance on the bottle. Another melody in my head. My life a lot of pain that I don't show. Loved ones turn to people that I don't know. I leave if I know I won't grow. Memory lane's a place that I just don't go. But what's the difference? We all die one day and love's a prison. I love you. If I didn't, it wouldn't hurt like fuck the miss you. That's another issue. Another birthday, another box of tissue. Vibing with the bottle like I'm talking with you. One day